Hey, SKOL Vikings Nation. What's up, you purple-blooded warriors? This is your die-hard Vikings fan, straight from the heart of Minnesota, fired up and ready to dive into the hottest Vikings news that's got us all buzzing. Imagine this. Our offense just hit warp speed like we've been waiting for all season. And now the Pittsburgh Steelers are staring it down like it's the biggest purple monster they've ever seen. We're talking Week 4 Showdown, folks. Vikings versus Steelers in Dublin, Ireland, no less, and Mike Tomlin's already sweating bullets. Buckle up, because I'm breaking it all down, and trust me, by the end, you'll be pounding your chest yelling SKOL. But first, what do you think? Can our boys keep this momentum rolling overseas? Drop it in the comments right now. Last Sunday in Week 3 against the Bengals, it was like flipping a switch. Our offense exploded for a 48-10 beatdown, the kind of game that reminds you why we bleed purple. Carson Wentz stepped in as the grizzled vet, completing 14 of 20 passes for 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, and even tacked on a few rushing yards like it's no big deal. That's 70% completion rate, efficient as hell, and he kept the chains moving without forcing a thing. It's the smoothest we've looked all year, averaging over 7 yards a play and scoring on 4 drives straight. Stats that scream stability after those rocky starts with J.J. McCarthy banged up. Wentz didn't just manage. He orchestrated, hitting quick slants and play-action boots that had Cincy chasing ghosts. As a fan who screamed through too many quarterback carousel rides, this felt like finally landing on solid ground. Pure Vikings magic unfolding before our eyes. But here's the real juice. This performance didn't sneak up on anyone, especially not Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin, who's been around the block and knows a game-changer when he sees one. On Tuesday, he straight up said, "That certainly has our attention," tipping his cap to Wentz as this grisly veteran, who's got that old-school moxie. Tomlin's not wrong. Wentz brings those intangible edges, like reading defenses at the line and shouldering the schematic load that young guns sometimes fumble. It's short-term gold for us, stabilizing the ship while McCarthy heals from that nasty high ankle sprain. Pittsburgh's prepping like it's do or die, and honestly, seeing them rattled? That's the kind of fire that gets me hyped. Who's with me? Feeling that SKOL energy building already. Alright, Vikings faithful, let's keep the adrenaline pumping, because if Week 3 was a statement, Week 4's shaping up to be a declaration of war. Picture Tomlin in his presser, eyes locked on the camera, dissecting our offense like a scout with a man crush he won't admit. He's all respect, no BS, and it's got me grinning ear to ear because when the enemy coach starts name-dropping your squad's strengths, you know you're onto something big. But hold up, before we charge into Pittsburgh's playbook, hit me with your hot take. Wentz for the long haul? Or is this just a bridge to McCarthy's return? Your thoughts could spark the next big debate in the comments. Tomlin didn't mince words about what makes Wentz tick in the purple. That veteran savvy that's like having a chess master calling audibles mid-play. He pointed out how backups like Wentz excel at the intangible components. Stuff like pre-snap adjustments and carrying the huddle's weight without cracking under pressure. Last season, remember when the Steelers faced the Colts? Tomlin told his guys to keep Anthony Richardson upright to avoid unleashing Joe Flacco. But boom. Richie got dinged early, Flacco came in, and Indy stole a win with 279 yards and 2 scores. That's the blueprint Tomlin's flashing our way. A vet QB turning chaos into clockwork, at least in the short term. For us, it's Wentz doing exactly that. 14 for 20, no turnovers, and our D feasting off short fields for those 5 takeaways. It's not flashy, but man, it's effective, and in a league where one pick can sink you, this is Vikings news we can cling to like a game-winning pick-six. And get this, rumblings are already swirling around Kevin O'Connell's QB room. Whispers of sticking with Wentz over rushing McCarthy back from that ankle tweak. O'Connell's called Wentz a point guard QB, all about smart decisions and not forcing heroes, which clicked big time against Cincy. Tomlin sees it too, warning his secondary that underestimating this setup would be suicide. It's got that underdog fire we love, turning a backup stint into a potential QB controversy that's pure drama. As a fan who's lived through the Cousins era ups and downs, this feels fresh, exciting. Even, what if Wentz keeps balling out? SKOL or no SKOL, that's the question burning in my gut right now. SKOL? Vikings fam. We're knee-deep in this offensive renaissance, and Tomlin's quotes are like fuel to the fire. Straight fire that has me pacing my living room like it's game day. He's not just acknowledging Wentz. He's breaking down why our whole attack's got teeth now, and it's all tied to that explosive arsenal around him. But let's pause for a sec. Quick poll. On a scale of hype to exploding, how pumped are you for Dublin? Smash those likes if you're all in, and let's unpack why the Steelers are losing sleep over us. Diving deeper into Tomlin's breakdown, he zeroed in on last year's Colts game as Exhibit A. Richardson goes down in Q1. Flacco torches them for 240 yards and a W, flipping the script because vets like that don't flinch. Fast forward to us, Wentz mirrors that poise, going 14 of 20 for 173 yards. And a pair of TDs, no INTs, in a blowout that had our D scoring twice off turnovers. It's that short-term stabilization Tomlin's harping on, where experience trumps youth's flash until McCarthy's back. Expected multiple weeks out, per the docs. O'Connell's raving about Wentz's practice reps, saying intel from McVay and Reed checked out. Guy's a quick study, hitting 70% clips and extending plays with his legs for those sneaky 4 yards. Stats don't lie. Our offense jumped from 30.4% scoring drives pre-Wentz to lights-out efficiency, and it's got Pittsburgh's game plan in knots. The beauty? It's not just Wentz solo carrying. It's the full squad clicking like a well-oiled machine, Tomlin called it. He certainly has a full repertoire of targets available to him, and oh boy, does he ever. That return of Jordan Addison? Game changer, stretching the field with his speed on those deep posts. Then you've got Justin Jefferson, the 50-50 king. Tough as nails YAC beast who turns slants into house calls. Add TJ Hawkinson lurking at TE, snatching contested balls like it's his job, because it is. And Wentz's basically got a cheat code. Against the Bengals we saw it. Addison with crisp routes, JJ hauling in a 40-yard bomb, Hawk snagging a red zone fade. Pure synergy that torched Cincy for 48 points. As a lifelong Vikings diehard, watching that unfold? Chills, man. Pure chills. Whoa, Vikings Warriors, can you feel the electricity? Tomlin's basically handed us bulletin board material on a silver platter, admitting our offenses got that veteran edge that's keeping him up at night. And with Week 4 looming in Ireland, talk about a neutral site thriller, every detail counts. But before we scheme up how to exploit Pittsburgh's D, tell me, who's your MVP target in this matchup? JJ, Addison, or Hawk? Hit the comments. I read 'em all and shout out the best ones. Tomlin's no stranger to QB swaps biting him, and he's schooling his squad on why Wentz is no easy out. Oftentimes, particularly when you have a young, inexperienced quarterback, there's some big-time benefits of playing with a vet backup. He dropped, nodding to how Wentz handles the schematic responsibility at the line, audibling out of bad looks, protecting the ball like Fort Knox. Last week, that meant 0 turnovers in a 48-10 rout, with Wentz's 173 yards fueling 4 scoring drives and our D's 5 forced fumbles turning into points. It's that intangible grit. Wentz has got 70 starts under his belt, third in MVP voting back in 17, and now he's rebooting here like it's destiny. Growing up a Vikings fan in North Dakota, no less. Short term? It's a lifeline while McCarthy mends. But long term? Rumors say O'Connell's eyeing him as more than a Band-Aid, and that has Steeler fans twitching. What seals the deal for Tomlin's worry is our weapons cache. It's like Wentz walked into an armory. The return of Jordan Addison, I think, is significant, he said, and damn right it is. Addison's back from his suspension, torching secondaries with 4.2 yards per route run already this year. Pair that with Jefferson's wizardry, over 1,000 yards last season, 50-50 balls that defy physics, and Hawkinson's mismatch nightmare, 95 catches in 23, and you've got a QB with outs on every dropback. In Week 3, it showed. Wentz spread 10 targets across 5 guys, no one do dominating, just surgical strikes that gas Cincy. Pittsburgh's secondary, ranked 22nd in pass defense. Better buckle up. As your passionate Vikings voice, I'm all in on this. It's the kind of balanced attack that screams playoff push. You feeling the same rush? SKOL alert. Purple pride. If Tomlin's presser is any sign, the Steelers are treating our offense like a Category 5 hurricane. Respect that's music to my ears after those early season hiccups. Wentz under center feels like fate, and with McCarthy sidelined, it's all hands on deck for this international clash. Quick question for you fam. Would you ride with Wentz all season if he keeps this up? Let's debate. Your input keeps this Vikings news fire alive. Breaking it down, Tomlin's harping on those vet perks because he's lived the nightmare. Colts 23, Richardson sacked thrice early. Flacco subs in and carves up Pitt for 26 points in a 23-20 upset. Echoes of our Week 3 dominance. Went steady at 14/20, 173 yards, 2 TDs, rushing for 4 more in a game where we held the ball for 35 minutes and converted 8 of 12 thirds. No negatives here. It's the not a negative thing for the Minnesota Vikings, at least in the short term. Tomlin's conceding, as Wentz's line of scrimmage mastery kept Bengals guessing, leading to 48 points on just 95 plays. O'Connell's beaming, calling it efficient decisions that let Flores D shine with 4 sacks and 2 pick sixes. Stats back it. Our red zone efficiency hit 75%, up from 50% prior. Wentz magic, plain and simple. And oh man, the Arsenal talk from Tomlin? Spot on. Carson has a nice arsenal of people to throw the ball to. Addison's return lit the fuse. His 4.35 speed torched pads in practice, and against Cincy, he snagged a 28-yard wheel route that flipped the field. Jefferson, the man's a reckoning, tough YAC, 6.2 yards after catch last year. 50-50 fades that make DBs quit midair. Hawkinson at TE, a walking mismatch with 60% contested catch rate and blocking that springs Jordan Mason for chunk runs. Wentz feasted, hitting all 3 for key gains in a no-huddle drive that chewed 7 minutes off the clock. Pittsburgh's blitz-happy scheme under Tomlin? They'll test it, but our O-line, anchored by that 2024 draft haul, held firm last week with 0 sacks allowed. This is Vikings news at its finest, layered, lethal, and loving every second as a fan yelling from the stands. Vikings Nation, let's crank the volume. Tomlin's basically auditioning our offense for MVP honors, and Wentz is stealing the spotlight like a North Dakota kid turned gridiron god. Week 4 in Dublin is not just a game. It's a statement across the pond. But hey, pause and ponder. If McCarthy sits another week, does Wentz lock in the gig? Sound off below. Your Vikings passion fuels my rants. Tomlin's veteran blueprint shines through his Flacco flashback. 1 early injury, and suddenly Pitt's coughing up 293 total yards to Indy, with Flacco's poise sealing a W. Parallel to us, Wentz's 70% completion, 0 INTs, and smart checkdowns in a 38-point thumping, where our offense clicked at 6.8 yards per snap, best of the season. The veteran guy oftentimes does the intangible components very well, Tomlin noted, like Wentz's pre-snap huddles that sparked a 92-yard TD drive opener. Short-term boon while McCarthy's ankle heals. Week to week, per O'Connell. But those rumblings? Fans are buzzing. Wentz's 2023 Rams stint, 3 TDs in relief, proves he's no flash in the pan. Our D benefited huge, forcing 5 turnovers off short fields, turning this into a total team rout. It's that grisly edge Tomlin fears, and I'm here for it. Spotlighting the targets, Tomlin nailed the threat level. Addison's back, and his route-running precision, 80% win rate versus man coverage, had Bengals CB slipping. Certainly, Justin Jefferson is a man to be reckoned with, Tomlin said. JJ's after-catch elusiveness, top 3 in YAC league-wide, turned a simple out into 45 yards last week. Hawkinson, a challenge, per Tomlin, with his seam stretching, 12 red zone TDs career, drawing safeties and opening lanes. Wentz distributed like a surgeon. Addison 4 catches, JJ 3 for 62, Hawk 2 TDs, spreading 173 yards across the board for balanced fury. Steelers secondary, leaky on deep balls, allowed 12.5 yards per completion, could get shredded. As your hyped-up Vikings scribe, this lineup's got me dreaming Super Bowl. Passionate, precise, and primed to dominate. Boom, SKOL squad. Tomlin's Tuesday truth bomb has me fist-pumping. Our offense isn't just running hot. It's scorching earth, and Pittsburgh's got the binoculars out. Wentz as the steady hand? Chef's kiss. But with Ireland calling, what's your bold prediction for the score? Vikings by 10? 20? Let's hear it. Comment wars start now. Recalling Tomlin's cautionary tale. Steelers versus Colts? Keep Richardson vertical. But nope. Q1 fumble, Flacco enters, 16 of 26 for 149 yards, game-winning drive. Sound familiar? Wentz's Week 3 masterclass, 14/20ths, 173 passing, 2 scores, legs adding 4, in a game we controlled tempo at 62% time of possession. I don't necessarily view it as a negative. That Carson is playing, Tomlin admitted, praising the schematic smarts that let Wentz carry line calls, resulting in 0 pre-snap penalties and 8 third-down conversions. McCarthy's sprain sidelines him, multi-week prognosis, fueling O'Connell's point guard praise for Wentz's progression reads, hit rate up 15% from prior QBs. That efficiency, key to our 48 burger, with O flipping the script from early season stalls to sustained drives. Vet stability, baby, Vikings news that's got rivals reeling. Tomlin's target rundown is gold. The return of Jordan Addison is significant. Addy's YAC prowess, 5.1 average, flipped momentum on a screen that went 35 yards untouched. Jefferson, the good 50-50 ball guy, tough, good after the catch, lived it with a toe-tap grab over 2 defenders for 40. Hawkinson at tight end? A challenge, indeed. His block and release fake sprung a 22-yard wheel, then he boxed out for a score. Wentz's full repertoire shown. No receiver over 5 targets, yet 100% catch rate on throws to them, gassing Cincy for 482 total yards. Pitts D, aggressive but vulnerable, 3.8 points per drive allowed, faces a nightmare. Fan to fan, this depth's intoxicating, raw, relentless, ready to rumble overseas. Vikings diehards, raise your horns. Tomlin's dissecting us like we're the 99 Rams, and Wentz has got that Flacco-esque calm that's turning heads league-wide. Short-term savior or season changer. The debate's on. But first, your turn. Favorite Wentz throw from Week 3? Replay it in your mind and tag a buddy who needs this Vikings hype. Tomlin's point hits home with that 23 Colts clash. Pressure Richardson, but injury strikes. Flacco stabilizes with 2 TDs on 9 drives, stealing a 20-23 heartbreaker. Wentz channeled it. Efficient 173 yards on 20 attempts, 10.9 YPA, 2 strikes in a rout where we scored 48 off 12 possessions. He's a grizzly veteran, Tomlin said, spotlighting how Wentz's experience loads up on intangible components, like audible mastery that dodged 2 Bengals blitzes for first downs. With McCarthy out, high ankle, weeks away, O'Connell's loving the great decisions vibe, echoing Wentz's Rams relief heroics, 107 rating. Our offense surged, 7.2 yards per play, top 5 in EPA, letting Flores unit feast on tips and strips. Is that short-term spark Tomlin warns of? But damn, it feels eternal. The weapons, Tomlin's salivating in fear. Addison's return significant. His separation quickness, 2.8 seconds average, burned zones for chunk plays. Jefferson is a man to be reckoned with, spot on, with his contested catch rate, 55%. Snatching a back shoulder beauty for 28 yards and a score setup. TJ Hawkinson at the tight end is a challenge. Hawks route diversity. Inline, seam, flats, drew double coverage, freeing JJ for yards after catch explosions. Wentz thrived, 85% adjusted completion to them, no drops, fueling a no-huddle barrage that held the ball 8 minutes longer than foes. Steelers, with TJ Watt lurking, better bring extras. Our O-line stonewalled last week. 0 pressures on 28 dropbacks. This Vikings arsenal, lethal, layered, and leaving me breathless as a fan. SKOL Thunder. Fam. Tomlin's got our number on speed dial, crediting Wentz's vet sauce for that Week 3 fireworks show. And now Pittsburgh's playbook's gotta evolve fast. International stage awaits. Dublin. Baby. But let's interact. If you were O'Connell, stick with Wentz or rush McCarthy. Your call could go viral. Drop it now. Flashback to Tomlin's Steelers-Colts wisdom. Upright QB plan crumbles. Flacco ignites with 240 total yards. Victory formation in hand. Wentz's echo. 14 completions, 173 air yards. Dual TDs. Scamper for 4 in a demolition where we converted 67% on third downs. Up from 35% prior. Oftentimes, able to carry more schematic responsibility, Tomlin observed, as Wentz's line adjustments sparked a 75-yard TD march sans huddle. McCarthy's injury timeline, week-to-week ankle, opens the door, with O'Connell nodding to Wentz's progressions that mirrored elite backups, 0 sacks, 110 passer rating. That poise powered our 48-10, with balanced attacks, run past 55-45, wearing down defenses. Short-term, blessing. Long, revolution brewing in Vikings news circles. Tomlin's Arsenal alert rings true. Full repertoire. Jordan Addison's return significant. Addison's post-catch jukes, top 10 elusiveness, turned a check down into 22 yards. Jefferson, tough, good after the catch, powered through arm tackles for 52 YAC on 3 grabs. Hawkinson's T menace, undeniable seam posts that vacuum safeties, creating 1-on-1s for others. Wentz orchestrated flawlessly, targets dispersed, max 4-1. Yet 100% conversion, ballooning our scoring to 6.0 points/drive. Pitt's coverage, middling, 68% completion allowed. Quakes at this trio's sink. Addison J.J. Hawk combined for 140 yards last outing. As your energized Vikings storyteller, this firepower's got playoff echoes. Raw, rhythmic, roaring to go. Purple Rain, Vikings crew. Tomlin's Tuesday tea is spilling over with respect for our Grizzly QB and his loaded clip, making Week 4 feel like Destiny's Derby. Wentz steadying the ship? Priceless. Your move. Predict Wentz's stat line versus Pitt. 200 yards. 2 TDs? Better? Comments are your megaphone. Tomlin's vet valor shines in the Flacco parallel. Colts injury pivot. 16-26 sufficiency leads to upset glory. Wentz's twin. 70% clips. 173 yards. Scores sans slips. Legs chipping 4 in a 48-point fiesta with 62% possession dominance. The veteran guy does the intangible components very well. Per Tomlin, evident in Wentz's audible that flipped a doomed run into a 35-yard pass, key to 8 of 12 third conversions. McCarthy's sprained shelf life multi-week spotlights Wentz's point guard role. O'Connell's words after a practice where he repped ones flawlessly. Surge stats, 6.9 YPA, top 3 red zone TD rate, transforming stalls to statements. That short-term Tomlin hedge? It's our launch pad, fueling fan frenzy. Target treasury per Tomlin, nice arsenal. Addison's resurgence significant. His burst, 4.440, evading for 30-plus gains. Jefferson, 50-50 ball guy, tough. Nailed with sideline lasers he muscled for 42 yards total. Hawkinson challenge, tease contested grabs, 65% rate, sniped a fade TD. Wentz wielded it wisely, 9 of 11 to them for 140 yards. No INTs, driving no huddle that stole 9:42 clock. Steelers pass rush, what led, 2.5 sacks/game. Tests resolve. Our line's clean sheet last week says ready. Fan passion peaks here. This blends electric, evoking glory days, vivid, vital, victorious vibes. SKOL surge, Warriors. Tomlin's tipping hat to Wentz's wizardry has Steelers scheming overtime, and our offense's glow-up is the talk of the NFL. Dublin duel incoming. Epic. Interact time. Who's the X factor? Wentz's brain or the receiver's flair? Spill in comments. Let's build the hype together. Colts 23 caution for Tomlin. QB protection fails. Flacco flourishes with poise for the pilfer. Wentz's replica. 14/20 precision. 173 aerials. Twin TDs, 4 ground. In a thrashing tallying 482 team yards. Carry more schematic responsibility. At the line, Tomlin touted, as Wentz's tweaks thwarted blitzes for 7 firsts. Ankle-ailing McCarthy's absence, weeks, elevates Wentz's Reed/McVay-vetted smarts. O'Connell confirmed post-practice. Great through progressions. Boom. Offense at 7.1 yards per snap. 80% scoring drives. Week 3's blueprint for bliss. Short-term stabilizer? Understatement. It's seismic shift in Vikings lore. Tomlin's threat tally. Full repertoire. Addison significant. His routes, 3.1 YAC/route. Razzied for explosive outs. Jefferson, good after the catch. YAC monster, 6.5 average. Bulldozed for 55 post-reception. Hawkinson, challenge. Inline drags that dragged coverage, gapping for slants. Wentz's distribution dazzled. Balanced 150 yards to trio, 92% accuracy, fueling 4 red zone trips. Pitt's D-line, pressure heavy, 38% rate. Looms, yet our protection peaked, 0 hits. As storyteller supreme, this symphony sings. Sizzling, synergistic, set to stun. Vikings Vanguard. Ignite. Tomlin's vet endorsement underscores Wentz's Week 3 wizardry, positioning us as Pittsburgh's puzzle. Global gridiron glory awaits. Your voice. Ride Wentz wave or McCarthy wait. Comment cascade starts. Join the chorus. Flacco's 23 Phantom for Steelers. Sub and Savior, 149 yards to victory lap. Wentz's shadow, 70% dials, 173 passes, 2 strikes, 4 scrambles in 48 to 10 blaze with 67%. Third success. Grizzly veteran. Intangible components. Tomlin lauded, spotlighting Wentz's huddle heft that hatched a 60-yard scorer. McCarthy's mend, high ankle, extended, unleashes Wentz's backup brilliance. O'Connell's efficient echo after Bengals bash. Metrics marvel. 11.0 YPA. For turnovers forced aiding short-term Tomlin truce, but long Vikings legend in making? Arsenal acclaim from Tomlin. Throw the ball to Addison's significant spark. Speed slicing for 32-yarders. Jefferson reckoning. 50-50 inch. Contested conquests claiming 48 yards fierce. Hawkinson challenge. TE traps trapping LBs. Unleashing wheels. Wentz wove 130 yards through them. Flawless fades. Driving tempo tilt. 36 minutes top. Steelers secondary soft spots. Deep average 15 yards allowed. Exposed. Passion pours. This posse pulses. Potent. Picturesque. Primed for purple parade. SKOL Symphony. Squad. Tomlin's tactical nod to our offensive oasis has foes fortifying. Wentz wielding like a weapon. Ireland invasion primed. Poll pop. Wentz Week 4 TDs. 1, 2, or 3. Vote via like or comment. Your energy electrifies. Tomlin's tale. Colts collapse. Flacco's finesse flips fate with 2 TDs. Wentz's whisper. 14 to 20 harmony, 173 harmony. Dual delights. 4 fleet feet in route racking 48. Schematic. Line of scrimmage. Tomlin tracing Wentz's tweaks to 9 conversions. McCarthy's hiatus. Ankle ache. Weeks. Highlights Wentz's point guard poise. O'Connell's ovation post-win. Surge. 6.7 YPA. 75% red zone. Short-term salve. Seismic for SKOL souls. Tomlin's trove. Arsenal. Addison significant. Burst blazing 28-yard bombs. Jefferson. Tough. YAC yak. 52 yards bulldozed. Hawkinson challenge. Seam serpents snaring space. Wentz's weave. 140 yards trio tied. 100% snaps. No huddle nectar. 8-minute steals. Pit pressures. Parried last. Clean. Fan fire. Fusion fabulous. Fierce. Fluid. Fantastical. Purple pulse. Vikings. Tomlin's tribute to Wentz's tenure tempts triumph tales. Our attack ascending. Dublin destiny dawns. Your yarn. Best Vikings memory with a vet QB? Share. Stories stitch our sisterhood. Flacco flashback. Steelers stumble. Sub shines with 240 total triumph. Wentz's wink. 70% magic. 173 melody. 2 melodies. For mobility in 48 fest frenzy. Veteran. Benefits. Tomlin breathed. Breathing Wentz's audibles alive. Blitz busts. McCarthy's mending, multi-week. Mince Wentz's might. O'Connell's decisions delight. Data dance. 7.3 yards per play. 5 TOs turbo. Short-term shield. Saga starter. Tomlin's tally. Repertoire, Addison, return Rockets 25-plus gains. Jefferson 50/50ths. After catch, grappled grabs, 45 YAC. Hawkinson challenge, fakes freeing fireworks. Wentz's wand, disperse dazzle, 85% to them. Clock control crown. Steelers siege, stalled. Heartbeat high, harmony heroic hot, harmonious hallowed. Final SKOL salvo, nation. Tomlin's take torches trails to week 4 warfare. Wentz's wisdom weaving wins. We've dissected the dominance. Now, charge with me. What's your ultimate Vikings week 4 wish? Roar it out. Wrapping the vet vortex. Tomlin's Colts chronicle. Flacco's flair for fatal flip. Wentz's wave. Precision passes, poised plays, purple power in 48-10 thunder. Intangibles. Short term. Tomlin tuned. Tuning to Wentz's line lore. 0 flags. McCarthy's weight, ankle weight. Weights Wentz's wonder. O'Connell's acclaim absolute. Peaks. Efficiency elite. Arsenal alive. Vikings news nectar. Tomlin's targets toast. Arsenal full. Addison significant. Speed storms. Jefferson reckoned. YAC Yeti. Hawkinson challenge. T terror. Wentz's triumph. Targets teased. Totals towering. Tempo tamed. Pit peril. Poised parry. As your ardent ally. This era enchants. Epic. Enduring. Eternally SKOL. Phew, what a ride, Vikings fam. That's your deep dive into the hottest Vikings news. Straight from the front lines. If this fired you up like it did me, smash that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Seriously, which weapon scares you most for Pitt? Subscribe for daily doses of purple passion, and share this with every SKOL shouting friend you got. We're building this Vikings wave together. Next stop, victory in Dublin. Horns up, stay hyped, and until next time, SKOL Vikings.